Hello again. This is my solution to the CheckerBoardKarel problem. So, the objective of this problem is for Carol to make a checkerboard at any given size of the grid. So, how I broke it down was, well, first of all, Carol's going to have to put alternating beepers down. And while that can be done with integers, here you are only allowed to use uh, methods, Carol methods. So what I did was use two if statements where Carol moves first, checks if the front's clear, and then he moves again, and then he puts the beeper. That way he's skipping two spaces and putting down a beeper, not one. So the way I broke down this problem was, and you could go either way. You could go right, left, or up, down. For me, I broke it down into two categories where Carol was going right and Carol was going left. Or is it Carol going right? Well, yeah. So when Carol is going, so that is basically how the outline of my code. While Carol is going right, Carol is going to place alternating beepers. He's going to move up, place beepers while going left, move up, and so on and so forth until he hits the end. So how is this going to work? So in my runner, I have a put beeper method because, of course, he's going to put the beeper at the front. You can start with putting the beeper, and then Carol's going to check for initial walls before starting. Carol starts to move. I will come back to this. And while front's clear, Carol's going to go right, left. So right, left, right, left, right, left until front is not clear. So how is Carol going to go right? Well, first of all, if you're going to go right, you have to be facing east. And while facing east, Carol's going to put alternating beepers down, like I said before. But this is here, I think this is the most important part about my code. It took me a very long time to figure this out. It is very important for Carol to recognize if at the very end position of each column, if Carol puts a beeper or doesn't. This is very important because when Carol moves up one column, Carol's going to have to figure out if if he's going to have to put a beeper or not put a beeper. See, at the end of this column, it's empty, so Carol's going to have to put a beeper. At the end of this column, he puts a beeper, so he's not going to have to put a beeper here. So the way I did that was when Carol ends with putting a beeper down, first of all, if a column ended, it means the front's blocked and a beeper is present. Now these two, I broke it down to going left and right. If Carol's going right, Carol's going to move up left. This is another method. So if you check move up left, so Carol's going to turn left, so he's facing north now. And if front is clear, this is when he checks if he's at the top of the map, if he's at the last column. And if he's not, if front is clear, he moves and then turns left again. Now he's facing west, ready to move left. And same goes for here. Facing west, if he's facing west, that means he's going left, move up right, which means he's going to face right, and then moves, puts a beeper, and starts going again. Now, if it ends without a beeper, Carol is going to have to, well, first of all, the same thing, he's going to have to check if the front's blocked, but then now he's going to check if there aren't any beepers present. And then the same thing goes here, move up. And yeah, that's essentially it. Alternating beepers, of course, like I said before, Carol moves first, then checks if the front's clear, and then moves and puts a beeper. Now, with the initial wall, if there is a 1x10 or a 10x1 grid, Carol's going to have to check for walls first before moving. That is a exception case. So I will show you the 1x10. So when Carol checks for the wall first, he's going to turn around and then execute the code while alternating beepers like this.